It might be apt for the guest that we've got going on next. They're bringing Alan Ayckbourn's Absurd Person Singular to life. Pleasure to be joined now, just after 8:30 here by Geraint and Alex. Morning.
Morning, mate.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Very well.
Well, good to be here.
Very well. As it was, Absurd Person Singular, what is it about words and what feels like the wrong order on a Tuesday morning?
It's very true.
And, well, how exciting is it that you're just over a week away?
That's the scary bit. Yeah,
We can do it, can't we, guys? We can do it.
Opening night a week tomorrow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So what is Absurd Person Singular? Who wants to take a lead on this one?
It is absurd. That's a good start. It's a really funny play that's about people, really, and relationships, and just lots of things that people can relate to. I think we had a chat off air, didn't we? Saying it's about people and just dialing it up into something a little bit ridiculous. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, so the show is actually set over 3 consecutive Christmas Eves. We meet 3 different couples based in the 70s. Each act has got completely different sets. We're all set in each other's kitchens. And as Alex said, hilarity ensures. And yeah, the characters come to life, and it's an interesting one.
It is.
Yeah, it makes people think, completely makes people think about just general life, really.
What I love about having a show themed around Christmas at the tail end, or the early February, is that there's probably still some memories lingering of awkward Christmas gatherings.
Surely not.
Just a couple of weeks ago. And then there's something about the 70s and Christmas as well, which makes it even bigger, as more bland in the brown, which I think is just going to come to life on this stage. And it's not a big cast that you've got.
No, there's only 6 of us. So, as we say, there's 3 couples, 6 of us on stage, a whole team backstage,
Yes.
to make everything work for us. But yeah.
I mean, there's you and Chloe, then there's Meg and I, and then Will and Janine. That is it. That is the team, and the relationships and interconnections that flow from all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us a flavour then as to these couples. Who are they? What are they like?
Okay, well, should I start? Because we
You go
start
for it.
off in. My character Sydney is married to Meg's character Jane, and we are the most humble. We're from the poorest background, and we're just keen to impress. And Sydney's really ambitious. He just really wants to go places. And so the first act starts off in their house, and they are super nervous about inviting Gez, is architect, and Will's bank manager over, and he just thinks this is his route to golden riches, and he's going to do better in life. But it's really then quite funny then, the nervousness between him and Jane, and then just I don't think the character is exactly what Sydney expects. Chloe, for example, is quite. Would you say she's bipolar? Her character?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
An emphatic yes, right.
Very
in
much
there.
so, yeah.
Mate, so you're the humble beginnings of this play.
Yes, I would say so.
Okay, and then Act 2.
Act 2, we go then to mine and Chloe's house. I'm an architect. Chloe is just a stay-at-home wife because my character is just absurd. And doesn't let his wife do anything. The way that he speaks to his wife is actually awful. But we get around that. So they then come to my house. I don't want to give too much away.
No.
However, in Act 2, I think Chloe has got the hardest job.
Yeah.
She's on stage for the whole of Act 2, but doesn't say a single word.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And this whole thing, like this whole act just goes on around them. And Act 2 is the start of the downfall for the 2 couples that start above Alex's couple.
Oh.
And then Act 3, the tables turn completely, and Alex the status of Alex's couple ends up on top, and everybody else is like below. So yeah, there's that whole power struggle all the way through. And then Act 3, we meet Janine and Will's characters properly in their house. Janine turns into an alcoholic.
She's quite eccentric, isn't she?
At one point we move the drinks trolley and she follows it and wants the bottle of gin off it. It's crazy.
I love that. A year is both a long time and a flash in the pan, and what you're putting condensing into this evening of entertainment is that passage of time, and you're able to do that visually because each of these houses are going to look very different for the audience as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, give us a flavour as to what we're going to be seeing between these different houses.
I mean, there are similarities, aren't there? There's usually a table sort of as a focal point, and you've got some sort of sick workplace. But I mean, I presume, I think Will and Janine's house is like an old Victorian mansion or something. So theirs is supposed to be a bit grander.
Yeah.
And like mine and Jane's house is just really basic, and we look into next door's fence. It's pretty simple. But yeah, I mean, it's essentially the same structure, aren't they?
Of course. But as is every house, really.
Yes.
They've all got- yeah.
And like my house in Act 2, we are a flat that's four levels up.
Yeah.
So that obviously got a different structure to so like the crew, and to be fair to Finn and Carol, who's directing, they've done a good job of working out how things will look different, but we're still able to utilize it, like working sinks, ovens, just like sash windows that I don't want to give too much away, but Chloe uses quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's gonna look epic.
I love that. I've also got this image now of an on-stage come dine with me kind of feel about it.
It's definitely there.
Yeah, it's just a shame we don't have the taxi ride at the end, to be honest. But,
With your scorecards. We should get the audience in the different
do
breaks.
that.
and like-
We should do that.
As people leave,
There's a theme.
yeah. Which house do you want to spend next Christmas at?
We made sure we got minus points as well.
Yeah.
And then a word then on the actual writing. It's a play by Alan Ayckbourn. I've been fortunate enough to be in an Alan Ayckbourn play myself, Comic Potential. Alan Ayckbourn, if you might not be aware, he's prolific. He's written, I think it's over 90 plays since 1958, I think I just worked out. He really has an eye for looking at the human condition and turning it into something ridiculous.
100%. He's very clever. And it shows in this play, doesn't it?
Yes.
It is based in the 70s, and obviously we've come a long way since the 70s. However, I think human nature is still
Fundamentally the same.
Yeah. And he just explores that, but as you say, in a way that's completely exaggerated. Like some of the stuff that we do and that we say in the show, you could not get away with in everyday life today. Just there's no way.
Yeah.
No.
And we were talking upstairs as well, because it's the human condition. Of course, humans, we have highs, we have lows. As much as it's a comedy, there is actually a lot of reflection in there as well.
There is, I would say, especially in the middle act, with as you say, Chloe doesn't have anything to say in the second act. It's fair to say that she's perhaps down at that point. Well, definitely down. But it's true that humour can get you through an awful lot, and that's one of the messages of the play, I think, is that there is humour going on at the same time of Chloe's struggles, which some people might find awkward, but it's really, it helps you get through it, and it shows that how essential humour is to life and to make it better, and to get through it.
Yeah, and I think that whoever is going to come and see the show, we have sold tickets, by the way, but whoever is going to come and see the show is to, embrace that and don't feel awkward if you find something funny. Just go with it, because that's the whole point. And stuff, we have exaggerated stuff, haven't we?
Yes,
but
well, Ayckbourn does, isn't it?
Yeah, and Ayckbourn, he does all the way. But yeah, just don't feel inhibited when you do come. If you just go with it.
But that is the point of live theatre, isn't it? The point is to release yourself into this magical world that's on the stage in front of you, and not take yourself too seriously. Maybe use hints and tips and evaluate your own. That is the beauty of sharing that story with you. So if you are going through similar themes, you'll be like, oh, well, they managed to laugh about it. They did that about it. What can I do in my circumstance? And that's I think that's a wonderful trait to have whenever you go and see live theatre.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we're there to take people on a journey, aren't we?
Yes.
As actors, and to, as you say, bring everyday life to the forefront, I suppose, and get people to forget for 2 and a bit hours, and just for them to enjoy themselves, really.
Yeah. So come on then, if there's people that are thinking, when is this? Where is it? How can I get tickets? And what's that selling point that you think you need to see this because?
Well, social media man Gez is probably on top of all the details. Better than I am.
So we are performing at the Torch Theatre next week. So Wednesday the 5th we open to Saturday the 8th. Saturday is a matinee at 2:30. Wednesday to Friday we kick off at 7:30. Tickets are available from the Torchbearer box office as well as online. But why should people come and see it? Not only is the show an excellent comedy, but I think Artistic License reputation sells it as well.
Yeah, I mean, Carol's a brilliant director, isn't she?
Yeah.
Super talented cast. I mean, certainly the other 5 are definitely worth seeing. Go see them. But yeah, really good body of work. We did Spam a lot last year. A lot of people seemed to enjoy, which was kind of crazy.
That went down very well. What a show, though. What a show.
Yeah, less we talk about that, the better.
Unforgettable. I did enjoy it. We did 39 Steps the year before that, didn't we?
Sister Act.
Yes, Sister Act was a big hit, wasn't it? I think Pride and Prejudice at Picton Castle, a lot of people enjoyed. So yeah, there's a good body of work there.
Yeah, I would say. And then just a word then on the fellow actors sharing the stage with you. I imagine rehearsal has been great fun.
Just laughing. Well, I've laughed a lot. Well, to be honest, a lot of lines. So you've got to concentrate on that. But yeah, just we've laughed so much. It's great. It is absurd, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't know about you, Alex, but I found that this has been quite educational. The rehearsal process has also been quite educational because, believe it or not, I wasn't around in the 70s. So I know I look old and I've got... but, you know, learning from like people like Carol and Will who... are in the show and stuff. Just some of the stories that they've told us.
Well, I saw Carol on Thursday evening, and she was like, "Oh, I've got some leaflets here from Third Person Singular," and she was like, "The thing about this comedy is that you're going to watch it and you're going to think, was the 70s really like that?" And she's like, "Well, yes, and I was there. I know I don't look like it, but I was there, and it happened." Like it's a wonderful, as we said, it's this magnifying glass on these couples. So yeah, go and get your ticket now. Torch Theatre, those dates again?
5th to the 8th, so Wednesday to Saturday next week.
Amazing. Saturday matinee for that one. Thank you so much for joining us here
Thank you very
on
much.
The Breakfast Show on Pure West Radio. Garrett, you've picked out a tune for us.
We have. Bit of Tom Grennan for you, everyone.
Can't go wrong.
Good morning.
Love it. Let's go home together to someone else's house for Christmas.
Yeah, that's the one.
There you go. Perfect.
You pick which one.
It's 8:45 here this morning. Celebrations are up next here on Pure West Radio. We'll give you a whoop and a cheer. Cheers, guys.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers.
At Tees R Us, our services range from one-off T-shirt printing